Hi, I'm Kelly, and I'm here for a job interview. I want you to follow my process of getting a new job in teaching. So, when I saw this one on a job site, it looked really good. It looked totally up my alley. It was a video and a teaching job where you're teaching video. So I worked in the video field for many years, so this would be a way to combine both of my skills. So I'm so excited when they called me yesterday and asked for an interview. All right, so here are the downsides though. It is far away. It's about 30 to 40 minutes, and it would be worse than that if there were traffic. The second thing is, I think it's gonna pay less. So usually if you commute, the incentive is you commute so you can get paid more. Their teacher scale's a little less. Now I'm hoping, I'll have to find out once we get to the negotiating stage, that maybe they would take my years of video experience and count that towards years of experience on the teacher scale. Then I can make more. I didn't want to rule it out or say no right away. I wanted to hear what they had to say because the job does look so perfect for me. Another downside, it's middle school. After my last experience, I wanted to get out of middle school. However, the job just seems so perfect for me. Again, I'm willing to hear what they have to say and willing to consider it. We'll see. Let's see how the interview goes today. I'll let you know. Okay, so the job's a little different than I thought it would be. I thought from the job description it was going to be all about teaching video, but it's a more broad tech ed kind of thing. And you're also teaching robotics and physics and things like that. Not exactly what I wanted. If the pay and the location was right, then I'd still want to go for it, but I don't know. It's far away. I think it's going to be less money. I'd have to see. And then one thing he really reiterated to me was that you have to be super organized for this job because you're always taking things and putting things away. Bad first impression, but when I went to the school and they asked for my ID, I couldn't find my ID. So I don't know where it is. I need to find it. Now I'm a little panicked, but that didn't make me look good nor very organized, which I'm not. But anyways, I don't know. We'll see if they even call me back, but I'm not sure if I would want it even if it was offered to me. But it didn't hurt to go on the job interview. I'm still going to be back at my school. Not at the time I'm supposed to be there, but before, I get any students. So, okay. So usually I talk to you before I go into the interview, but today I was not running late, but I got there with only 5 minutes to spare, which I don't recommend. Aim for 15. Anyways, the good thing is I'd be teaching video. All these kids are bussed in from other schools, so it's definitely they want to do this for a career. They have standards, but yet you have a lot of leeway as a teacher as to how you teach it. And you have 2 sets of kids, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. They have A days and B days, and then you have 3 classes of level 1 and 1 class of level 2. I would be replacing someone who was there for 30 years. So I hope to hear back. They said they're finishing up interviews and they'll let me know. The downside is the commute. It is a 40-minute drive without traffic, and it involves getting on 95. So I'm sure anyone from Maine to Florida knows what 95 is. If it's ever a holiday weekend or anything, that 40-minute commute can turn into an hour and a half. So that's the downside. Another downside, I looked up the pay scale for this county and they pay less. It's not that much less, but still, usually the incentive of commuting is you get paid more, right? All right, so I have 2 other interviews this week. So I will let you know how those go when they happen, and I will let you know if and when I hear back from this job and what I chose. I'm about to do a phone interview for an ESL position 1 county north of here. So I'm excited. I'll let you know how it goes when it's over. Some good things are the county north of me pays better. The downside is I'll be on a little different schedule than my own kids. I'll let you know how it goes. Good.
I think my instructional strengths are that I'm helpful to students and
I'm not really sure how that went. It's hard to tell sometimes. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know if I gave them the answers they were looking for. I mean, I tried to just answer honestly. So we'll see. I have another interview at 1:30 today in person, and that's one that I want even more. That one's for video. I'll tell you more about that later. Okay, so it is over a week later since I had that other interview. I forgot to do a video before and after because that particular day was also a teacher work day, and I was just trying to get out of there and then go on vacation with my family, which they had already left for. So I'll tell you a little bit about the job now. So that would be for doing video at a high school that is only 10 minutes from my house. So that is great because that other video job I applied for was 45 minutes from my house. And by the way, I did not get that job. So anyways, that one is my first choice. There's always advantages and disadvantages to any job. So even though it's my first choice, there are some downsides, which I'll go into. One of the downsides is I've heard bad things about the behaviors at that school and that there's a lot of fights, but I'm hoping that since it's an elective that they chose that they want to take and not a class that everybody has to take, that means it'll be better. That one still is my first choice. I am able to teach video, which combines my two career skill. They asked for a portfolio, which I didn't have. I had to get one together quickly, just of stuff I've done. I used, some of my YouTube videos or some of my course videos and put them together. So what I don't have is some of the professional videos that I have done. I've worked at 2 professional companies and it's hard to get that footage. So I'm gonna see if I can find some online or see if I can talk to people to get some, to also get them some of the footage from the professional things that I have done. When I first got the interview, I thought I'm a shoo-in. With all the experience that I have in video, they'll hire me on the spot. Well, that didn't happen. I didn't feel like I necessarily didn't get the job or that I necessarily did. I feel somewhere in the middle. I'm mid about that. So we'll have to see. I'm gonna get them some of the professional stuff because I feel like if I don't get them that soon, they may just move on to another candidate. We will have to see. Out of all of them, this one is my top choice. So let's hope that this one happens. All right, I have an interview in just a few minutes. This one is for a video job, so my original career. And the downside is though that it's all the way in the city, an hour away, but more than that with traffic. So the commute would be the downside, and I really didn't want to commute until my kids were in school. But at this point, I'm not ruling anything out. It's just an initial interview. Well, I need to go because it starts in a few minutes. All right, it's the same day, just an hour later. I have another interview. This is also for a video job. It's for freelance, which I'm not really looking for freelance, but not ruling anything out at this point. My goal is that if I don't get a teaching job, maybe I'll just freelance. So not ruling anything out. Okay, so I have 4 interviews today. What is the downside? My internet is out. Like, this could not have been the worst timing. My backup plan is to go on data and hopefully that works. But this could not be more of a nightmare situation. I've already tried restarting my computer and restarting the router and turning it off and turning it back on, turning it off for 10 minutes. Hopefully that works. I will let you know how these interviews go. All right, so I turned off my Wi-Fi and I'm using data and I'm doing it from my phone. That's the best I can do. As if this can't get any worse. I thought that this was an online interview because a lot of my interviews are online, but this one's in person. And I found out 10 minutes before and it's like 30 minutes away. I just messaged him and asked him if we could do it online and I apologize for the mix-up. Luckily, if this doesn't work out, this is not one of the ones I really wanted that bad anyway. It's a private school, it's a private Islamic school. I'm not Islamic, I'm not Muslim, but it didn't say that you had to be. I'm not ruling anything out. So if I made this mistake, at least it was with this school and not a job I really, really wanted. I'll let you know what happens. And I have another interview tomorrow near where this Islamic school is. So that kind of works out because only one day that I'm driving there and not two. So maybe it worked out for the best. All right, now this interview I have for a third grade teacher position in one county north of me. This is one that I'm really hoping to get. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you too, both of you.
I got a bachelor's degree from George Mason in communications, and as far as teaching goes, I started off as a substitute teacher and a para.
Not sure how that went. I did keep getting cut off because I have no internet today, and I was going off data off my phone. So it kept cutting in and out, so I hope that's not held against me. I had 3 interviews today. And let me tell you, I don't know where to start. There's a lot to tell you. First of all, my first one was with an Islamic private school. And no, I'm not Islamic, but I'm not ruling anything out. He didn't ask what my religion was, so I'm not Muslim, but I was 10 minutes late. I almost just turned around, but I decided he found me and asked me to come in, and we did the interview. I had another interview right after, and I literally had to cut him off and tell him I have to go. I have another interview. We were almost done, but still. And then got to that interview just right on time. I mean, like just on time. Not late, but like right on the dot on time. And I could tell they said something like, oh, you know, I know parking's bad because they had field day. The kids in this county, I'm interviewing with 3 schools, one county north of me. They're still in school. We were out like 2 weeks ago, so I forgot about that. So the next school was for ESL. I would love to do ESL, but there's always good things and bad things. The bad thing about that school is it's pretty far. Like without traffic, it's like 45 minutes. And then this school that I'm still in the parking lot for, it's for 4th and 5th grade, a social studies and history, or social studies and English teacher. So they have, someone was walking by, so I got distracted. So basically they have, I think, a math and science teacher and a social studies and English teacher that works with 4th grade half the day and 5th grade half the day. So I thought that was a really neat, unique way of doing things. You know, most schools just all the way through elementary school, like it's one same teacher for all the subjects. So I kind of liked that. And I think they liked that I had a history background from 6th grade. It's only 1 grade, but still I think that'll make a difference. So anyways, I'll let you know who calls me back. Another good thing about this school is it is closer. For a school that's in the next county, it's closer, but all the schools, like I still have to get on 95, which is horrible, especially today is a Friday in the summer. It's awful. But in this school, there's a way to take the back roads too if it's ever really bad. I still kind of hoping I get some more calls from my own county. They pay less, but the commute's awesome. So everything has a pro and a con. I'll let you know what I end up getting. We'll see. Oh, another downside about this school though, I don't know if I was totally prepared because they gave me very specific books and things like that. And between me doing 9 interviews in a week, I've got school, I've got work. I prepared as best I could, but I definitely could have prepared more. So we'll see. All right, so I'm about to do my 2nd interview with the IMF for doing video. The downside is it's all the way in DC, but the good news is it's the 2nd interview, so they're really interested. With video, my resume speaks for itself, which makes it easier. With teaching, I have to sell myself a little more because I'm a little more new to the field. So anyways, I'm doing this interview on my phone only because it's through Teams and I don't have the space on my iPad. So I'll be filming from one of the sides while I do it. Wish me luck. Hi, how are you? I'm good. Good to meet all of you virtually.
Okay, yeah, so I worked for CSAN for about 10 years, so I already have experience in politics and economics.
All right. You want to know the downside? My phone went off in the middle. I was on Teams on my phone and it interrupted. And then here on my iPad, which I'm talking to you guys on right now, you could hear it. I quickly turned it off, but still, that is a downside of what went on. I hope they don't hold that against me. All right, come to find out, the call that I got interrupted by was for another school asking for an interview. So I have that next Tuesday. In the meantime, the one I just had an interview with texted me and asked me to come by and to get a tour of their studio sometime this week. I texted them back and I haven't heard back from them, but that's promising. Even though my phone went off after the interview, they asked me to come in. The downside is the location. I might not take it because of that, but I am not saying no to anything right now. All right, as we speak, I'm about to go observe at a school and I have another interview. My observation, I have to tell you about that. After I had the interviews on Friday that I told you guys about, I got a phone call when I got home, like 6 o'clock at night, done grocery shopping, someone who asked me for an impromptu interview. I said yes, and I'd been interviewing all day, so I already had like interview questions in my mind. Did an impromptu interview over the phone, and they asked me to just come and observe them today, which I'm about to go do. And then while I'm there, the school next door to them, I'm gonna go have an interview. So 3 interviews today, sort of. One's an observation. We'll let you know how they go. All right, I'm here to observe. I'm gonna be here about an hour, and then I have to go to that other school to interview. Wish me luck. All right, so that last school, I thought I was just going in to observe, but it kind of did end up being more like an interview. And because I was told I was observing, I was casual. I wore this with no blazer. I wore like sort of tennis shoes. So I don't know, hopefully they'll hire me anyway. Anyways, that might end up being my school though. I felt really warm, really comfortable there. The job seemed like it wasn't too difficult. So the girl who I'm replacing, she ended up showing me around the whole school, offering to answer questions, introducing me to everyone. The principal, I think she's the principal or maybe the vice principal. She is so nice. She's the one I talked to on the phone in the impromptu interview. And just, I get such a warm vibe from her. And then one of the people she introduced me to said to me, I just like your energy. I hope you end up coming here. I don't know. I just felt like those are people I could work well with. I felt like I could do it. Oh, and the girl who will be my co-teacher also seemed really, really nice, very welcoming. So, I felt really good about that one. Like, that might end up being my school. And at the end, I asked them if they were interviewing anybody else, and they said no, just me. The job itself doesn't seem too hard. I'm working with special ed, but I have between 2 to 4 kids in the classroom half the day, and then the other half I'm going into people's homes and like playing with and observing the kids there or doing paperwork. I like that because I'm the type of person who doesn't like to do the same thing all day, every day. You know, like I don't like to be in one classroom 5 days a week. You know, I get bored easily. That's why I like freelancing, where I was doing something else different every day, but freelancing doesn't give you health insurance. So I really like the fact that I also get to get out of the classroom. That is totally up my alley. So this next school that I'm sitting at right now, let's see, about 25 minutes. I have my interview, so I'll go in like 10. This is for 3rd grade. This was only just down the street from the other one. So I don't know. After hearing about that other job, I don't know if I want 3rd grade, but I'm going to go in, see what they have to say. I am at the point in my life, I just want to go and do my job and not have a lot of work to do outside the classroom. And I am kind of afraid that in 3rd grade, it's going to be a lot of grading, a lot of work outside the classroom. And it is the first year kids do SOLs, which if you're not in Virginia, that's our standardized testing. So that's a lot of pressure. So anyways, I really, really like the last school, but I'm going to go in on this interview, see what they have to say. I have a few interviews next week, but I may end up canceling them. We'll see. I have to say that all these interviews have been exhausting. I just want to get a position, but I want to get one that I'll be happy in. I don't want to be unhappy like I was this past year. I'll let you know. All right, so I think it went well. It's really hard to tell. I have to say the principal was really nice. He knew my supervisor, who was the vice principal at the last school I was at. So she must have said good things or he wouldn't have called me in the first place. But they were so nice, like little touches, like gave me a water bottle. Never got that in an interview before. Showed me around the school, asked good questions. I have no idea. They didn't tell me I definitely got the job or anything. I have no idea. I'm still leaning towards the last school only because I'm afraid this would be a lot of work outside the classroom. They had 3rd and 1st grade available, although they said they originally called me for 3rd and they're focusing on that. I would do either one. I'm still trying to set up when I'm going to actually go into that other job, the video job. I'll let you know. All right, so I thought I would give you an update while I'm sitting here waiting for my son to do soccer practice. 2 huge updates. So first of all, tomorrow I'm going to the IMF. It'll give me a chance to see what the commute will be like. They want to show me around the facility. I'm going there super early, so I'll get to see what it's like in normal rush hour traffic. I'm thinking about just taking the express lanes and paying the tolls, but I'll get there sooner. And here's the other thing. Remember the job that I said that this might end up being my job? Well, they called me, your HR department called me today. And oh my goodness. First of all, I had by today to resign from my current county in order to work for this county. Somehow these 2 counties have like a deal where like if it's not done by a certain date, then you can't transfer. I never signed my contract for my old job, so I thought that that was fine. But they said no, that you actually have to resign. Well, at the time that I was told that, I had an hour and 12 minutes to do it. So I asked the HR lady on the phone, like, what do I have to do? She's like, just send an email to your principal, your vice principal, and the HR department. And I had trouble sending it to HR. Twice it got sent back to me, so I finally found the right email address. But it took me a while to write this resignation, and I needed my husband's help. And anyways, I did it with about 20 minutes to spare. So I did that. So let's say I don't even have this job yet. It's not even official, but I've had a lot of interviews in that county. And in my county, not too many people are calling me. I have an interview next week and it's for a part-time position. So I don't want to rule it out. So I sent this resignation. I'm taking a risk. Anyways, a little more about this job that might hire me. Apparently I don't have one of the classes required for me to take in order to start this position. So the HR lady said that since the college that I already went to, they have a deal with, she's going to get me in and try to get me enrolled in the class like tomorrow. If it all works out, then I can take it this summer. I'll be able to start when the school year starts as a certified teacher in this area. Worst case scenario, I may have to be on a temp salary for a temporary period of time, which is less money than I'm making in my current county. But I would be working towards that. I really want this job. I really had a good feeling about it. I liked all the people I met. The actual job itself seems like something that I would be happy in. I'm open to some other jobs if they're offered to me before I sign my contract with this job, but they'll have to hurry up. Up until it's official, I'm going to keep going on interviews. I'm going to keep responding to people who are asking me about other jobs. I'm going to go to the IMF tomorrow. Everything until I have like a written contract. I'm not going to stop applying for jobs, going on interviews. This one is looking really promising, and I'm leaning towards that over going all the way into the city. Now, this job isn't close. It's like 40 minutes, but it would still be better than going all the way into the city. I have literally been commuting about 45 minutes to an hour since I was 17 years old. So a commute doesn't bother me. The job I had in the spring was 15 minutes, and that was crazy. It's rare I ever have a job that close, but I wasn't happy there. So what are you gonna do? Anyways, I need to go work on some college classes because I'm already taking college classes to get certified, and I have homework due tonight. I'll let you know how it goes. All right, I want to talk to you a little bit and then I'm going to leave. I actually made a video in the parking garage right before I went into IMF, but the lighting was so bad that I don't think I'm even gonna use that. I'll talk to you now. Anyways, I just went for my in-person interview. I promise I was dressed a little nicer. I had on this and I had a blazer on over it. It started raining, it got cold, so I threw on this jacket instead. And I was in such a hurry this morning because I had to be there early, so ponytail it is. Anyway, they showed me all around the IMF. So there's 2 people in charge of hiring. One of them, he wanted to hire me right away, and he even gave me some pointers of something I should ask the other person when I see her, because I think she was the one that needed a little convincing. And she was with us for a little while, but then he showed me all around the entire building, and they have 2 buildings. He showed me around both of them. Told me all the sorts of jobs I might do. At the very end, we went to his office and kind of waited for her, but she was on a phone call and couldn't really get to us. Anyways, while I was in that, I get a phone call to interview. Someone wants to interview me today. I am so busy, and after talking back and forth of when we could meet, because I have a busy day, she wants to meet me in an hour, which means, and I live 30 minutes away. I'm like in between. I'm halfway in between, you know, going home. So I'm not going to have time to go to the grocery store. I guess I will have to go later. I was planning on talking to you and then going. Anyways, I've got to get home. I have another interview in an hour. Yeah, until I have a contract with somebody, I am going to keep doing this. I got a lot of decisions to make. Out of the IMF and this other job that I was telling you about, this other school, I'm leaning towards the school because I have summers off. It's like not as long of a commute. And then, yes, it pays more to go into the city, but then you have to figure out gas, parking, maybe tolls, depending how I decide is the best way to take, and more wear and tear on the car. I don't know what their insurance is like. The insurance is great through the school system. So all those to weigh how much I'll be making in one versus the other. Anyways, I need to go. I need to get ready for my interview. I am back home and getting ready for this interview. I'm using this device for my interview, so I'll show me with another device. Hopefully this goes well. Hello. Good, how are you?
Education, let's see, as of right now, I'm working summer school, preschool, and I have worked special education through studying. I have some relatives who have kids who have benefited from special education.
You too, thank you, all of you. All right, bye. I'm not sure how that went. I'm kind of thinking this other one's gonna work out anyway. All right, so I have another interview today that was we just planned it on Friday. Anyways, this is for an ESL position in one county north of me, so wish me luck.
As far as teaching goes, I started off substitute teaching and being a para in the public school, and yeah, and then started teaching online actually first.
Oh, bye. Great. So what was interesting about that is that her husband, he interviewed me last week. He was for the 3rd grade position, so that's so funny. It's only probably gonna be like 30 minutes away, which is not bad for being in the county north of me. And like not, the way I would go would be not too much traffic, and I would love to have an ESL position. So I actually kind of hope to get that one. All right, so I just had another interview. Now there's a story behind this one. I totally forgot about it. I was getting ready to vacuum my car, which has been on my to-do list forever. And my phone connected to my car like it does, and it reminded me that I had an interview because I put it in my phone calendar. And I had 30 minutes to get ready to be here on time. And luckily I'd already taken a shower. Look, my hair's still a little bit wet. But you know, it had been an hour since I got out of the shower. Quickly put on makeup, got dressed, and put a headband in my hair and got here just in time. Like, I wasn't late. I was like right on time. But you know how you usually try to get here a few minutes early, you know, just in case something happens. Luckily, nothing happened. I mean, I almost missed this. So I need to go home, call HR, and try to figure out about these other jobs. Like I said, I'm still going on interviews until, like, I have signed a contract. Oh, this morning, I got a call from the video job, and they're making me an offer. I don't even know what to do. All right, I have had so many interviews lately that I haven't even had time to come on here and tell you all about them after each one. I know it's a good problem to have. I've been overwhelmed, and I guess that saying there can be too much of a good thing is a real thing. So just to start in order, I'll start with yesterday. Yesterday I had an interview for an ESL teacher in my county, pretty close to me. It would be like a 15-minute drive. My county pays a little less than the county north of me, but the incentive is you don't have the commute. So I thought that one was a part-time job. I wasn't too excited about it because it was a part-time job, but I thought I'd go on the interview. Come to find out, it's not a part-time job. You're only at that school part-time, but then they would give you another school part-time to make you a full-time employee. So I'm glad I didn't say no to that one. This morning, before talking to you, I went to another school, one county north of me. With the rain and it being a Friday, traffic was a little worse than usual. And just to give you guys some perspective, where I live is neck and neck with LA as being the worst traffic in all of America. Sometimes LA beats us and other years we beat them. So traffic's bad. When it rains, if it's a Friday in the summer, it's a lot worse. Anyways, so with the traffic, I had planned on a certain amount of time leaving, and then from that time left a little bit of a cushion in case there's traffic. Guess what? Traffic was even worse. I ended up getting there in the parking lot like 5 minutes late. I thought about not doing it. So glad I didn't. I really liked this principal. I liked her philosophy. This one was for 4th or 5th grade, which isn't my first choice. But one question I always ask at the end when they say, do you have any questions for me? I always say, what would you like to see if you came in my classroom? I got that off the internet too. I turned to the internet for interview questions like you would. And she told me organized chaos. She wants to see the kids doing activities and actively engaged. And honestly, I love that. I'm not like a super strict everybody sit in your desk type person, and I learn more kinesthetically, so I could relate to that. So I really like that. And then at the end of the interview, she said, you have a lot of different and varied experience. I really like that. So I have a lot of teaching experience. It goes back about 10 years, but I don't have the traditional in the classroom teaching experience. I've substituted, I've been a para, I've been an online teacher. I've worked in a private school, which was a classroom. But anyways, I don't have a lot of experience with the public school. So some people, some principals, that's a negative. And I could tell it was a positive with her. I actually felt really good about this interview, and she seemed to like me. So this is it's a potential. I have another place that is working with me, another school that we're starting the process, but I haven't signed anything yet. So I'm going to still keep going on these interviews until I sign something. So my next interview, all right, so it's in my county, which is really good. But the downside is it's on the other end of the county, so it's a 30-minute drive. If I'm going to drive 30 minutes, I may as well drive one county north and get the pay. The incentive of staying in my county would be less commute. However, like I said, not turning anything down. So I'm going to go to this interview. Okay, so I am at my next school. I am here 20 minutes early. I just GPS'd it to double check. It's 25 minutes from my house, again, in my same county. If I'm going to drive 25, I'd rather drive 30 and get the better pay from the next county over. But I am not turning down interviews right now. So I'm going to go ahead and go in. let me update you about the offers that I've gotten. So I got an offer from the video place. I told them that I need a little bit of time. I've had other offers and I need to think about it. I got an offer from the Islamic school, which is so surprising. Yes, the one that I accidentally stood up because I thought it was online, the one where I was late to the interview, they offered me a job. So we'll go on ahead and go in. And then the county north of me, one school, I've been talking to HR. They're trying to get me in a class that I need to take, and they're willing to pay for this class because it's for special education and there's a huge need. It looks like they're going to offer me the job. I mean, if they're willing to pay for the class. So which one did I choose? You guessed it, the special education preschool position, one county north of me. Now I have a class that I need to finish in a month and a half, and it's a 3-month class. So I am going to be busy. The good thing is my summer just got 2 weeks longer because they start 2 weeks later, but I'm going to be very busy taking this course. So I'm excited. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you find my content valuable.